Dude, did you order...
The new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry is the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/acast.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
I borrowed Mum's car and driving through the bush, I thought, throw some matches out of the window.
You started with a few matches out the window of your car, just lighting matches.
And throwing them out.
Did you wait to see at all if those matches caught?
I could see in the rearview mirror that they had caught. Then I went home and waited.
And then half an hour later, there was a fire front of 1 kilometre long.
Yep. I had a key to the fire station. By the time everybody arrived, I had everything open. We get in the trucks and off we go.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I felt on top of the world.
Hey, I'm Julian Morgans, and you're listening to What It Was Like, the show that asks people who have lived through big, dramatic events what it was like.
Hey, just a heads up. Today's episode deals with the sexual assault of a minor. Every summer, here in Australia, we get bushfires, and they sweep across the country, and then we look for someone to blame. And every summer, we get the same headlines about arsonists or firebugs, as we call them, and we blame them for lighting the fires and causing property damage and killing people. And you know what? Like, this is not empty speculation. You know, arsonists, they do light fires. They cause a lot of damage. And in fact, I was looking at this report. So in 2008, the Australian Institute of Criminology published findings that up to 50% of bushfires in Australia are deliberately lit. And this isn't a faceless crime either. So we do arrest people and, you know, people are charged, and it turns out that, yeah, people are, for some crazy reason, lighting bushfires. I actually remember after the Black Saturday fires in 2009, for example, they arrested this guy named Brendan Sokolock, and he was charged with lighting this fire in Gippsland that killed multiple people. And he was sentenced to 17 years in prison. He's actually just got out. But I remember watching him on a video. There was like a YouTube video of his arrest. And it's clear that the guy was pretty mentally impaired. And I remember watching him stuttering and stammering as he was being questioned by police. And I was wondering, like, who is this guy? You know, what drives people to deliberately light fires? What was happening in this man's life that motivated him to do this? And that was kind of the moment where I set out to answer that question. Because no one's really, I mean, there's been a few cases of like arsonists speaking up in the public, but no one's really just sat down for sort of like an empathetic conversation with a bushfire arsonist. So that was my goal. I was like, I'm going to do this. This is something that I don't know why, but it felt important to me. And it took me about 6 months. Every step of the way, I was hit by a different roadblock. The police wouldn't help me. Academics wouldn't help me. Criminal researchers, none of them wanted to be helpful in any way whatsoever. There was just red tape everywhere and people talking about privacy laws. And, you know, I get it, but it was annoying. Anyway, finally, I tracked down a man who was willing to talk. And I first interviewed him while I was at Vice. So some of you might have already heard from this guy, but today you're going to hear a fresh conversation with an update on his life and a bit more insight into why someone would become a bushfire arsonist. Now, for safety reasons, I'm going to call him Steve. Now, Steve is not his real name. His identity is also going to be obscured in our videos. And we're not going to name the town where this happened, only that I'll say that it happened in regional Australia in the late 1980s. Now, Steve never killed anyone, and he believes that none of the fires that he lit destroyed any property. Still, he admits to lighting at least 10 bushfires, and possibly more. And while he describes them as victimless crimes, I think they reflect a broader, unsettling criminal profile. Or, I don't know, kind of unsettling. Maybe that's not quite fair, because I think really you'll sympathize with Steve today, because you're about to hear that his behavior wasn't driven by malice. Really, it was a cry for help. So the story is that he was sexually assaulted by his friend as a 12-year-old, and he carried this deep anger around with him. He was furious at the world, and it was this rage, this anger, that eventually curdled into lighting fires. And as you'll hear today, Steve believes that most arsonists are actually just channeling their trauma in similar ways. So that's what we're doing today on this episode, the main episode that you're hearing right now. But also in the bonus episode, I want to talk more about what I learned in my long search to track down a bushfire arsonist. Because, like I said, it took 6 months. There was some incredibly complex twists and turns. I learned so much. I took a tour of a police archive and looked at all sorts of evidence that they'd collected up around bushfire arsonists. I actually managed to speak to some fascinating people, and I learned a lot. So that's in our bonus episode. But for the moment, let's sit down with Steve. Steve, who is a convicted bushfire arsonist, and he's going to tell us his story about why, as a teenager, he turned to lighting bushfires. Hey, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start this conversation in a relatively pointy way. And my first question for you is, what is your earliest memory of fire?
Earliest memory. Well, I suppose I wasn't really exposed to the world, except for the one that I was living in with the family. Then, as I got into my teens, I then joined the local fire brigade, and I suppose that's when I was really exposed to fire and obviously the dangers involved in that and what I can do. So It's not as if I don't know what fire is.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't really get exposed to it until I joined the local fire brigade.
Okay. So I guess what I'm getting at was there was no pivotal moment where you remember as a kid looking at a flickering flame and being enraptured by its power.
No, I suppose that did come when I first went out with the local fire brigade, and we had a bushfire we went to put out, and I suppose there was a couple of things in that that I do recall in relation to the adrenaline. That certainly peaked, and the behaviour of the fire, because obviously we looked at how to extinguish it and how to ensure that it was safe, etc. And were there areas that could flare? Because when you are in that environment, a gust of wind can certainly pick up embers and drop it somewhere else. So I was learning about fire back then.
Sure.
And obviously working in and being in that environment, again, you tend to find idiosyncrasies in fire and what that entails.
Well said. Let's start with your childhood.
Sure.
Mum, dad?
Mum, dad, brother, sister.
Okay.
I was the middle child.
Okay.
10 months between my brother and I, and 5 years between myself and my sister.
Okay.
All in all, it was fairly boring, I would say, childhood. And then Mum and Dad split. Mum then moved to where Dad was to try and rekindle, and that didn't occur, and we stayed in the area
Okay.
where we were living at that point in time. And that's also when I became a member of the local fire brigade, because my father was also a member.
Okay.
And I thought, be with him more through that period of time.
Would you describe yourself as a happy child?
Prior to age 12, yes. Prior to age 12. Age 12, that was a major turning point in my life. And I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. Still don't, to be truthful. Like, I have people of acquaintances that I talk with and stuff, but actual friends that I could call up and say, let's go out, or let's go do something, or can you give me a hand or anything? I don't have those kind of friends as such. So in that respect, I was a bit of a loner. However, as part of the fire brigade, I felt I belonged. And I had that feeling of importance and feeling of belonging.
Okay. And this was like the junior fire brigade in like a small country town. So I'm guessing, you're doing drills and
Yeah, and I learnt the equipment really well, and picked up how to operate the equipment and how to maintain the equipment pretty quickly, and I became really good at that. And I used to keep the tool sharp, so if we needed to use tool out on the fire front, they were available and they were ready to go.
Okay, nice.
So it made me feel that I was a valued member of the brigade.
Right, it gave you a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did mention that age 12 things changed a bit, and the biggest change in that entire year is that I was actually raped by my best friend. And the mental anguish and the mental path that it took me on became really dark.
I feel apologetic for asking, but could you take me on that journey? Like who was
Sure.
this? Who was this guy? And I'm guessing you.
Sure. We were friends from school. We used to stay at each other's houses. They'd come to our house. I'd go to their house.
Would you say this guy was like your first real friend?
Well, we had 2 or 3 people that I would classify as friends, and he was in that group of people, and we got on, in my opinion. However, it was the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day, which really upset my psyche for the years ahead. It was a day that I dreaded because of the events that occurred, and the day was a really hot day, and we went down to the local swimming pool. My friend was there with a friend of his, and his friend had a car. So near the end of the day, I told my friend I was heading home. He said, we're heading back. And he used to live about a block and a half away from me. So we used to walk to each other's places all the time because we were so close. And he said, well, I'm heading home too. I'll give you a lift. I didn't want to walk up that big hill, so I'll take the lift. And I didn't think of it being anything except helping a friend.
Also, is your friend?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know the other guy.
Okay. So the other guy was driving. It was his car.
The other guy, it was his car, and
so
he was driving.
A bit older.
Yes, he was.
But your friend was also 12?
My friend was actually 14.
Okay.
So he was older than I was, but he was in the same year that I was.
Okay.
And his mate said, I just got to go home, grab some stuff because I'm staying at my mate's place sure, no problem. Well, that was just mind-blowing. And you may think, how's it mind-blowing? Well, they decided that near his house they wanted to go to the beach.
Okay.
I just wanted to go home. And I said to my friend, I just really want to go home. I've been in the sun all day. I just need to go home, have a shower and get all across. He said, yeah, we'll be 10 minutes. All right. So I just sat up on the dune. They flogged in the water, and then his mate come up to me and said, I want you. And I was a bit naive back then.
You're 12 years old.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
What do you mean you want me? And he pulled his pants down and said, I want you to suck me. I'm not doing that. I want to go home. And I called out to my mate and I said, take me home now. And his mate pushed me on my stomach and proceeded to penetrate me.
It's deep. I'm so sorry.
I was screaming. His mate thumped me on the side of the head to stop me screaming. Then my mate he put his penis in my mouth.
My God.
I bit down.
Good.
And I drew blood.
Good.
And he thumped me across the face. After his mate was done, my mate did the same. At this stage, I was like a rag doll.
Yeah.
There was no fight in me. They were stronger than I was. They were bigger than I was. I was the smallest kid in high school for 2 years. So I'm not the tallest guy there is. Then they hopped in their car and drove away.
They left you?
And left me.
Oh, mate.
All I had was my towel and my swimmers and about a 10-kilometre walk home. When I reached home, it was after dark.
Do you remember that walk?
I do. And before they left, they said, if you call the cops, we're coming back to kill you.
This is awful.
It was. And imagine how a 12-year-old copes with that.
Yeah, yeah. You've got no idea of your own rights, your own power.
No. When I arrived home, I was the only one at home.
Right.
So I couldn't speak to my mum. Well, she happened to be over visiting her sister in Adelaide. I didn't know where my dad was. My sister was at a friend's of mum's house while she was away. She stayed over there, and I don't know where my brother was. So I arrive home, go inside. I think it's about 8:30 at night. All I can do is cry on my bed.
Yeah.
That changed my demeanour.
Like something inside you snapped.
Yeah. I become very angry.
Yeah.
Confused. And lashed out a lot. Unfortunately, my sister copped most of it. And since then I have apologised to her. So it took me actually 7 years to tell Mum what happened. So for 7 years, I have this built up inside me.
And the reason that you didn't tell anyone, is it because you were afraid of being murdered by these guys, or you just innately felt like your masculinity or something, your value had been tarnished?
Well, to be truthful, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I was worth anything.
You didn't feel worthy of being helped or supported?
Or, to be truthful, I even contemplated suicide a couple of times.
Yeah.
The only thing that stopped me doing it was the impact that it would have on my mum. It's the only thing. So I understand it is a sad thing that occurred. However, once I became part of the fire brigade, I felt I belonged.
Hey, it's time for a quick ad break here, but please don't go anywhere. Stick around, because we'll be right back.
Dude, did you order...
The new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Did you know adults 60 plus lose more than $60 billion each year to financial exploitation? Greenlight's new Family Shield plan empowers you to monitor your accounts for suspicious activity, protect yourself with up to $1 million identity theft coverage, and reassure loved ones that you're safe with location sharing and place alerts. Get peace of mind today at greenlight.com/protect. That's greenlight.com/protect.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So did you join the fire brigade after you'd been assaulted?
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you joined the fire brigade?
I was about 16. So it's about 4 years afterwards.
So you had sort of like 4 years of bottled up rage and despair.
Yeah.
Okay. This kind of makes sense. From a psychological standpoint, this makes sense.
Yeah. And like, I was angry and angry all the time from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
Yeah.
I was abrupt with everybody in the household, my brother, my mum. And Mum never understood why, because she said, you were a great kid, and then all of a sudden this angry person come out.
Yeah.
But she didn't quite understand until after I told her what occurred. And she goes, why didn't you tell me? I said, you weren't here, Mum. You were visiting your sister. And then she took on the guilt, which...
That's really sad.
Yeah. And you know what? She did her best.
Yeah.
She was a single mum looking after 3 kids on her own. Dad left. Well, he was technically kicked out. Mum decided that they weren't living together anymore. And that happened on a Wednesday afternoon after school. Again, I was about 16 when that occurred.
Yeah.
So everything seemed to be piling on top at the time. And school wasn't the best. I was picked on a lot because of my size. So that is a compound on compound on compound on compound on compound.
Yeah.
And no understanding of how to manage it or cope with it.
Yeah, you weren't talking to anyone.
No,
you
I
weren't...
wasn't talking to anybody. I was bottling it up in myself. And to be truthful, I was destroying me in that I didn't look after my health. I didn't look after my personal hygiene.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less, to be truthful. And obviously, once I told Mum what occurred, she cried, obviously, and I cried too.
Of course.
Because it was the first time I've actually told somebody about it.
Mm.
And she said, "Oh, I wish you would have told me." And I said, "Well, what could have she done?"
Yeah.
Because it was done. I
could have
can't change it.
She could have had those kids arrested.
Well, anyway, she said, "Oh, we would have gone to the police." And I said, "And you would have taken me through that trauma?" Because, don't get me wrong, the police are great. They do a fantastic job. But there are things they don't understand. And a guy being raped by another guy is something they don't understand a lot.
Especially at that point, in the 1980s.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's a crime with a lot of stigma.
Yeah, absolutely. So not telling somebody was my way to cope with it. Was it the best way? Hindsight, no.
Yeah.
At age 12 to 16, it's the best I can do. So being part of the fire brigade, I was around guys all the time because there were predominantly men in the fire brigade.
Yep.
The captain of the fire brigade became more like a father figure.
Okay.
And I really looked up to the male role models there.
Because I guess your own dad was out of the picture at this point.
Correct.
And you sort of had this sense of camaraderie. You know,
Correct.
maybe for the first time in your life you felt like you had friends and value.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But there weren't always fires to put out.
No, there was not. Summertime obviously was more prominent for fires than wintertime.
Yeah.
On occasions through winter, we would go on what we call burn reduction exercises, and that helps us hone our skills. So before turning 18, I was bored one day and decided I was going to go and light some fires.
Okay.
So
did this idea just pop out of the clear blue sky, or had you been thinking about it for a while?
I can't really remember because obviously I'm talking
it's a long time ago.
39 years ago.
Yeah.
But I borrowed Mum's car. I had got my licence and driving through the bush, I thought, throw some matches out of the window. Then I went home and waited.
Did you wait to see at all if those matches caught, or did you just keep moving on?
I kept moving on, but I could see in the rearview mirror that they had caught.
Oh.
Because obviously I was on a dirt road, so I wasn't going too fast. And it was all bushland. There was no houses around, nothing like that. And we had been taught in the fire brigade, because we used to have educational times where we'd learn about the Australian bush and what to look for, and the Australian bush needs fire to be able to rejuvenate, and fire also helps keep the undergrowth down to prevent catastrophe fires. So we learnt that as we went. I had a key to the fire station, so because I lived literally across the road from it, if the fire siren went, because the call would come to the captain, he'd press a button, send off the fire alarm, would go meet at the fire alarm. By the time everybody arrived, I had everything open.
Okay.
It was we get in the trucks and off we go.
So you were the first on the scene. You were like
Basically
the most proactive fire brigade member.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the captain trusted me enough to have a key to the station. So all they had to do was come in. I even started the main tanker because it sometimes took a bit for it to warm up.
Wow.
It was an old Bedford truck. And then we would go off, do what we need to do. And again, felt important, felt alive, felt as if I belonged.
So this was a fire you lit.
Yes.
And you got to the station first. You got all this stuff, all the equipment out. You got the big truck moving. And do you remember the other guys arriving and being like, yeah, mate, you're doing really well. Good job. Bravo. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I felt on top of the world. Because not that we were going to a fire. It's just that I was now with the guys. And I felt like they were part of my family.
Yeah. You were part of a team.
Yeah. And I felt like I was valued.
And you didn't feel any guilt, like the sense of guilt that you lit this fire didn't affect the pleasure that you were deriving from this camaraderie?
Well, no is the simple answer to that.
Yeah. What was the deal with this fire? Did it become pretty big?
It took us about an hour or so to contain it and extinguish it. So it wasn't overly big, but it was big enough.
It was a front of maybe how long?
Oh, I'd say no more than a kilometre.
Okay. But still, you started with a few matches out the window of your car, just lighting matches.
And throwing them out.
And then...
If they caught, they caught. If they didn't, they didn't. But I went through that process.
And then half an hour later, there was a fire front of a kilometre long.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So after you'd lit this first fire, when you got home, do you remember the high?
Buzzing.
You were buzzed.
I was buzzing.
Yeah.
I was, the adrenaline was pumping and I was constant chatter.
Yeah.
Everything was just verbal diarrhea is how I'd call it.
So exciting. It's all exciting.
Yeah, exactly right.
You're on a high. This is a natural high.
Absolutely. There was no drugs involved and nothing like that.
Yeah. But, okay, so when you got home from this fire, do you remember having any conscious thought like, that was pretty good?
I suppose reflecting back on it, I liked the feeling of importance, feeling I've done something good for the community, felt like I belonged.
Yeah.
So that environment really changed my persona and who I felt I was. Outside that environment, all the negative thoughts came in. All the self-loathing came in. All the anger came out. So when I was in the environment, in the fire brigade and going to fires and all that, I didn't have the anger. I felt valued. I felt part of the team and all of that.
So you kind of found like a Band-Aid. Like if you lit a fire, you'd get to hang out with the guys.
Yep.
You'd get a positive feedback response.
Yep.
And it would alleviate the pain that you felt.
Absolutely.
That's dangerous.
It was an escape.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So it wasn't actually about the fire? Could you have got a kick in any sort of way that brought you with the guys together?
Well, could have. But I didn't know how.
Okay, sure.
Whereas I knew the fire would.
So you I guess what I'm asking is, are you a fire bug, like a pyromaniac? Is there something about fire that draws you in?
You know what? Back then, people labelled me that.
Yeah.
I haven't touched fire in over 35 years.
Yeah.
So...
You haven't lit a single campfire or
Nope.
No? Is that deliberate?
It's the way life went.
Yeah. I guess why I want to really establish your sort of career of lighting fires.
Yep.
We've had this first one. But then how did it become a pattern? Like, was that a slow thing, or did you very quickly just decide, I'm going to do this every time I feel sad?
Well, it really depended. First of all, my mental side of me, how I was feeling and what was going on. Often if I'd either had an argument with mum or my sister or brother, I'd want to escape.
Yeah.
And that's often times when I would go and light a fire.
Wow. So you were treating it like serial arson for you was the equivalent of like someone else having a bad day at work and they'd go and have a glass of wine at the end of the day. You'd go and light a bushfire.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, it was the only mechanism that I thought was available.
Yeah. In total, how many bushfires do you think you lit?
Obviously, fires jump around.
Okay, sure.
So I may have lit one here. However, 3 others may have, as a result of that, started over here. So in that regard, 10 would have been started, but I could have easily gone to hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously 10 times we went out as a group.
I got to ask, did anyone ever die in the fires that you lit?
Not that I'm aware of. Some of them became big fires, but they were out in the bush. They weren't in civilization. So the death of people may not have occurred. The death of animals, on the other hand, is likely.
Yeah, you think you really hurt some animals?
Possibly.
Do you ever think about that?
Do I reflect back on that?
Yeah.
To be truthful, no. Obviously, fire does impact animals because it's their environment they live in. So from that perspective, I really didn't think about that side of things. Did I want to hurt people? Definitely not.
Yeah.
Did I hurt people? Maybe not physically. Possibly mentally.
I mean, you scared a lot of people.
Absolutely.
You know, bushfires are scary.
Absolutely.
Did any of the bushfires you lit ever damage property or burn down houses?
No, not that I'm aware of or I can recollect at that point in time. And where I lived, there was a number of state forests that nobody could build in anyway.
Okay, yeah, of course. Was your fire lighting behaviour getting riskier as you went along?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
I would, instead of doing it in the morning, I'd do it mid-morning, afternoon,
when
there's more
wind.
people about.
Wee.
Like, when you do it at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's less people around.
Yeah.
If you do it at midday or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a lot more people around.
Yeah.
The likely chance of getting caught is greatly increased.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a 4-wheel drive. It was just a normal sedan.
This is your car?
Mum's car.
Your mum's car?
And I'd go for a drive. I could either go north, east, south or west. East, not so much because that's where a lot of the population was, but certainly north, south and west for sure.
Lots of bush.
Lots of bush.
You're in a town surrounded by forest.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And like that area were hundreds of kilometres.
Wow.
Hundreds of kilometres.
So it sounds really picturesque.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so you'd take your mum's car out to these areas.
Yep.
And then when you got there, what would you do?
Well, I'd look at spots. Now, that's going up there along that ridge. it could go over there, but it would take care of all of this. So it may not necessarily be planned as such, but I looked at the terrain and see where I could do the most good.
Not damage?
Well, I looked at it that the bush needed the fire to rejuvenate.
Sure.
Yeah, fire can be dangerous and can damage. I'm not that delusional. But in my mind, and to, I suppose, justify it, I go, well, this area hasn't been burnt for 10 years. It needs to clear this bottom build-up so it can rejuvenate.
Yeah.
The easiest and best way to do that is with fire.
Yeah.
In my respect, I was doing a community service.
But you must have still known somewhere in the back of your head it was dangerous and completely illegal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick ad break, but please stick around because we'll be right back with more What It Was Like.
Dude, did you order...
The new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parli italiano?
If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/acast. Spelled BABBEL.com/acast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So when you were trying to light fires, you said you'd go out to these places, you'd look around, you're like, oh, a bit of potential over there. Then what would you do?
Well, I always have matches. Cigarette lighters were just too encompassing and I needed other stuff. Whereas with matches, I could either a card of matches or a box of matches. Didn't matter if it was a card. I could tear a couple of matches off, light them all, throw it in the bush, drive away.
Okay. Would you stand around to watch?
Occasionally, not often.
Just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
It wasn't a sense of like power for you. You weren't like, look what I've created.
No.
No.
Oh yeah, that's lit. I like it.
I mean, I got to ask, was there ever a sexual thing? Did you look at the fire and feel a bit vibey?
Nope.
No?
No. I suppose that was, I'm going to say destroyed, but it was certainly hindered. When I was raped.
Your sex drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't watch. You'd get back in your car. You'd drive away.
Well, the day I got caught, I actually watched to see if it took light and to see if it was growing, and it did. So
what was it about that day that made you stay to watch?
It was just a nice day. I really don't know why, and to be truthful, I've really never explored why either. And I can tell you the truck that saw me. It was a council truck, and
they just happened to drive past on
happened to be driving past
forest
at the time.
road.
At the time.
Okay.
I've come out of the forest road to go onto the main road to go back home.
Yep.
And they come down the hill. They saw me turn out of the forest road.
Was there wisps of smoke in the air at this point?
Not that they could see.
Okay, but they still thought it was strange that you were coming out of there.
Exactly right.
It was memorable for them.
Correct.
Okay.
So they must have then taken the number plate of the car.
Do you remember thinking to yourself, shit, I've been seen? Like, did it stand out to you?
It didn't. I didn't think, oh, crap, I've been found out.
So you were seen and then you went home.
Correct.
And the reason you went home was because you were going to wait for the siren?
Correct.
So you could act all natural
Correct.
and swagger across the road, get the trucks ready. Okay,
Correct.
this is your plan. So you're waiting at home.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the captain calls me on the phone and he said, can you come up? I said, sure. And I went up to him at his business. He said, well, I have to take you to the police station. Why? You've been caught. Doing what? So I began to question where this was going.
Yeah.
And he said, you've been lighting fires. No, I haven't. You've been seen. We have to take you down to the police station. And obviously I cried.
Yeah.
Because I became emotional.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is going to devastate Mum.
It's nice. It's kind of nice that your mum was your first thought, like your mum's welfare.
Yeah. So I went down to the police station and that's, I suppose, the first time I had someone see me for me.
How do you mean?
In that they saw through all the bull crap, all the blockages that I provided. A lot of people go around life showing a mask they want people to see and not necessarily see their true self. And the policeman that I was speaking to, he went through all of that. He took every single mask off and got to me and found that I was this scared little boy.
What did he say that cracked you open?
Well, I suppose his relentless accusations.
Right.
And, you need to think that this is 9 days before my 18th birthday. And obviously once I turn 18, I'm classified as an adult.
Right. You can be charged as an adult.
Yeah, which obviously scared me even more. And they said, we've got you. We can prove it was you. No, you can't. Being 17. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
And then they laid out what information they had. And
what did they say?
Well, they said, well, first of all, your mum's car was seen. We've got the number plate. We can prove that it's your mum's.
Yep.
We haven't spoken to your mum yet, but we will, to ensure that you had permission to use her car. And we also found where you lit the fires. And they said you were seen coming out of the forest. We also know that fire did occur in that forest shortly after you left it.
Did they go and put it out?
Oh, the fire brigade did, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it didn't just burn itself out and it wasn't a dud fire. And okay. It turned into a big fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I wasn't there.
Right.
Because I was with the police.
Okay. You wanted to be out with the boys putting it out?
Yeah.
Hey.
So I went to the magistrate and the magistrate wanted a psych eval done on me. So a psychologist came and I spoke to them for several hours. And they made a recommendation that instead of going to jail, I go into therapy. And I also had the people who look after criminals. There's a particular department that does that. I had the head of that department also say that jail may not be the best option for me.
And did they make that assessment based on the fact that you seemed really upset, really emotional?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they wanted to obviously understand what was going on.
But you hadn't mentioned your sexual assault at this time.
No. I didn't mention the sexual assault to the police at all. That came out in therapy.
Okay. This is like court-ordained therapy.
Correct.
Right.
Now, the court ordained that I go to therapy for 6 months.
Yep.
5 years later, I finish.
Wow. Okay.
So I was actually in therapy for 5 years.
How close did you come in court to going to prison?
The solicitor that I had, he said, if you see a policeman over there, you're going to jail. The case before me, a policeman was standing over there and that person went to jail.
Right.
When it was my turn, I had to look over there and there was no policeman. Fingers crossed. I still didn't know whether or not it would be the case. And after the court case, the magistrate said that I'm not sending you to jail, but you are going to therapy and you are going to do community service.
Okay.
And after I completed my court community service, I then continued with my counselling.
Okay.
Because my counsellor, I felt, was my guardian angel who come down to help me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
We just clicked. We just hit it off.
Okay. And he understood you?
I felt he did.
Right.
And there were times in our sessions he would say 3 words and then there would be no further words spoken in the session because he would press one of my buttons which prevented me to talk.
Yeah.
Eventually, those buttons didn't react and I was able to continue talking. And the stuff that I learnt from him back then, I still use today when things don't go right because life happens.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a situation like that previously in this day and age, and I never will be. I'll never put myself in that position. I know the signs and I know how to deal with it moving forward. It was a part of my life that was, I suppose, a turning point and a learning point in that I began to learn who I was and who I wanted to be. I've always wanted to help the community in any way I can. Now, back then people will say, oh, that was a destructive way of doing it. It's all I knew, though. I didn't have insight. I didn't have hindsight either. So I coped with it the best way I thought I could.
Yep.
Now, I have heard over the years that my friend had passed away.
Oh, yeah? What from?
Apparently he was bashed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a little window into the world that he was living in.
Yeah. And apparently he was bashed to death. I don't know the full details of that or whether or not it's true.
Okay.
But that's what I heard.
I was thinking, when you told the story of your sexual assault, it's like this is such a little window into this horrible world of like potentially child abuse and just the violence that these guys, because you don't just come up with that kind of behavior by yourself.
No.
It's role modeled from someone else.
Yeah.
So what were their stepfathers or their brothers or their friends? What does it say?
Absolutely. And it was probably maybe 10 years ago. I actually wrote a letter to him.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Explained to him how my life turned out because of his actions.
Okay.
And when I finished it, it was something like 15 pages long.
Yeah.
And I then burnt it.
Oh, you didn't send it to him?
No.
That wasn't the point of it.
For me.
Okay.
To get it out and release it to the world.
Wow.
So that I didn't have to carry the burden anymore.
Did that work? Did it help?
Yeah, it did actually.
Yeah?
It was like a switch being turned off in that I didn't have to carry the guilt anymore. Because obviously through that time, I thought I was responsible.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
But the burning of it is a symbolising of release.
Yeah.
Let it just release to the atmosphere. Let it just go. These days I can talk about it, no problem at all. Occasionally I might get emotional, but that's understandable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's human. It's being human.
Yeah.
If I didn't show emotion, there's a lot more wrong than right. However, I know now that it is a part of my life. And if my story can even help one person understand their story, then I've done well.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I think on the one hand, arsonists are held in such low public esteem. Every summer we have all these bushfires and we talk about arsonists on Channel 7 and Channel 9 and they're like public enemy number one.
Yep.
And because I know you, I know your story, I know that there's more always.
There's a lot more to
There's
it.
usually more to that story.
Yeah.
Can I ask, when you got charged, I'm guessing you became kind of the talk of the town. I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Can you tell me about that?
It was plastered on the front page of the newspaper.
Really?
Absolutely.
This is the local paper.
Local paper.
Your name, your face.
Not my face.
Yeah.
It was my name. And the big banner headline, arsonist caught. Obviously, as a result of being charged and going through the court system, I no longer could be part of the fire brigade.
Yeah, so it cut you off from your
So
support.
that was taken away from me, even though I still lived across the road from it.
Right.
So
it's like breaking up with someone you've loved and then just seeing them walk down the street in front of you all the time.
Yeah. And you know what? That was hard. However, the mental health team that was behind me and supporting me helped me get over that.
Yeah.
And that's taken a long time to achieve.
Yeah.
And it's not something that is done on a whim either. It takes time, patience, and dedication.
You got to do the work, as the old saying goes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you decide not to, then how can you be better?
Is that your advice for anyone who's watching or listening and thinking, I'm behaving in some pretty destructive behavior, but I just can't face the actual thing?
Reach out
to
somebody you trust.
Yeah.
Whether that is a counsellor, mental health professional, or your best friend.
Yeah.
If they're a true friend, they take you as you are regardless. And these days, I'm happy who I am.
Good.
I enjoy me. I enjoy being me. And I'm glad I didn't take any drastic steps. Because if I did, we wouldn't be discussing it today.
Well, I'm so glad that we've been able to discuss this today.
Yeah.
So, Steve, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Today's episode was produced by Rachel Tuffrey. Ellie Dickey is our intern. Jimmy Saunders did our theme music. Our cover art is by Rich Akers. And this whole thing has been a Super Ill production.
Dude, did you order...
The new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I've never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.